Alright guys, so let me just say off the bat, I am really sick. And I went to see this movie because, hey, this is what I do. I do this for you guys and I enjoy doing it, but just bear with me because my voice is like, it's gone. Killing Them Softly stars Brad Pitt, James Gandolfini, Richard Jenkins, Ray Liotta. A lot of people are in this movie. It's directed by Andrew Dominik, and he made The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, also starring Brad Pitt. Wow. Now, I've said this in a few of my reviews lately. I have been trying to avoid trailers for movies. Really, really hard I've been trying. And I actually did not watch one trailer for this film going in, and I didn't even know what the plot was. Honestly, I went into this movie completely blind, no knowledge whatsoever. All I knew was the poster and that Brad Pitt played a hitman. I find that I enjoy movies more that way, without hyping myself for something, without going in with some sort of expectations, without watching a trailer that is more than likely misleading and going into a movie and going, wow, that's not what I expected, or wow, I wanted more action, or there was too much dialogue or something because I saw the trailer and it made it look cool. I don't have to worry about that if I don't watch the trailers. So that's one of the reasons I haven't been having as many trailer reviews as well lately. I know you guys have wondered about that. Basically, Brad Pitt is a hitman in this film, and he is hired to kill these guys who robbed Ray Liotta's card business. They robbed him, it kind of went bad. Brad Pitt gets hired to take these guys out, and he goes around basically trying to figure out how he can do that. Now that sounds really interesting. It could be great, right? There could be a lot of really intense scenes, good dialogue, but also a fair amount of action and suspense. And although this movie has greatness in it for sure, there are some really great scenes in this movie, there's something a little mixed up about it. See, before I get into the first half of this movie, I want to say the last half of this movie, or better yet, the last 30 minutes of this movie, were what I wanted the entire film to be like. It was intense, it was darkly comical, it had great dialogue, but it also had a really good sense of action in it. And when I say action, I don't mean like Transformers. I mean like good, suspenseful, building scenes. And the last 30 minutes of this movie I thought were just fantastic. And it has one of the best ending lines of the entire year. It made me smile. I loved it. However, the beginning of this movie is really rocky because you get introduced to so many different characters. It's a little difficult to follow because honestly, I would say in the first 30 minutes of this movie, there's only one scene with Brad Pitt. And you don't really get invested in him as the main character. He doesn't really get to flow really until the last half of the movie, honestly. That was a little weird for me because I felt like the movie didn't have progression. You know, there wasn't someone to experience the movie through. It was hard to latch onto the main character because you knew so little about him and you were exposed to him so minutely that by the time you actually got to his character, I was like, okay, finally, we can get going here. The performances are all out of this world. Like, everyone is great. Richard Jenkins, of course, is great. He's always good. Brad Pitt really knocks it out of the park in this movie. I've honestly never seen him give a bad performance. Now, I haven't seen some of his early 1990s television work, but let's just forget that that happened. Brad Pitt's a great actor, and here he's really good. He plays a convincing hitman. In the scenes where he's like trying to prove himself to people, like there's this great scene in a bar where he's talking to the dude from Argo, who's also really good in this movie, by the way. And he's very intimidating in this scene. He's like, look, dude, and he gives him like a little slap on the face and everything. It was great. Really good acting. Ray Liotta's also good in this movie, too. There's one scene in the film that I found a little too brutal, and I thought they went a little over the top and was unnecessarily violent. It just felt like, you know, a little out of place, but this is a mob movie, so, you know, whatever. See, I like this movie overall. I did. There was really good things in this movie, but there's just something about the way the film was constructed that was conflicting with itself because there's a really heavy message in this movie, and for a long time it felt political. Every mobster in this movie constantly has like political debates on the television. It takes place during 2008. You see a lot of Barack Obama and George Bush, and you see all these people going back and forth in the news, and for a long time I was like, why are we continuously going back to this? It wasn't until the last scene in the movie where it made sense to me, and I understand what it was there for, and I actually really appreciate that. The movie's message, although it is a little heavy-handed, I liked. And I got it, and I understood what it was going for. It's just the first half of the film felt misdirected. Too many scenes with characters that I felt didn't need to be that long. And it's not that the dialogue was bad, it's just that I felt like it was unnecessary to be there. And I wanted to get back to Brad Pitt's story and what he was doing and where he was going. The film looks great. It has excellent sequences in it, but the last 30 minutes of this movie are brilliant. It's fantastic, and I wanted the whole film to be like that. The film has great performances, it looks great, some of the dialogue is really well done, the chemistry between actors is excellent, you can tell there's a good director to actor relationship here. It's just the first half of the film was not cohesive with the second half. in my opinion. Now, some people have been tweeting me like, hey, I've been hearing this film is like Drive or whatever. I really found no relation to Drive at all in the movie. The only reason I think people might say that is because they maybe watched the trailer and thought there'd be more action. I can't really blame film from last year for that. You know, that's marketing. And that's why I don't watch trailers, and I suggest you do that too. Honestly, try it. It helps. I'm going to give Killing Them Softly a B. I enjoyed the film overall. It just has problems, and there is greatness in there. There's greatness under there. It's just, it didn't mesh. If you guys want a hitman movie that has a perfect amount of dialogue and action and great performances and direction all around, I suggest Collateral. This is actually one of my favorite movies. If you haven't seen Collateral, please check it out. An Oscar-nominated performance by Jamie Foxx. Michael Mann. Excellent hitman movie. Definitely check this out. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and as always, if you like this, then you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.